Hi, I'm Marialaura Ghidini, an independent curator whose work explores the intersection between art, technology, and society. I also have a passion that is the history of curating on the web and online exhibition projects. And this is why I'm happy to have the chance to experience and think about the exhibition For Data You Are and To Data You Shall Return, curated by Rebecca Edwards and B. Shin. My first thought when I was browsing the show was my hand on the trackpad that moves the cursor on the web page, that in turn traces the path of my eyes and the way I make connections on a heat map. I instantly thought about my bodily presence and its affirmation in the moment of browsing, but it wasn't just about me. The exhibition interface becomes an affirmation of others inhabiting and perusing the same world I'm in. This made me think about attempts at exploring the body's presence with the computer, from the hyperlinked narratives of the late 90s to the web pages performing with the viewer and for the viewers in the late 2000s, to the very recent craze of the metaverse. What I find interesting here is the attempt to figure ways of creating intimacy with the web page. But For Data You Are and For Data You Shall Return deals with a different web. It represents a time that edges between the platforms powered by our data of the Web 2.0 and the promises of decentralization of data system of Web 3.0. It deals with the web as a space that we inhabit, but also as a space that tells a story of the interconnections between the organic and inorganic, the natural and the artificial, and waste. For the viewer, presence is multiform, and the mediating effect of the interface that asks for an act of surrender transparently is often reinforced while browsing the artworks. To see the viewer is required to sit still, hand away from the trackpad or the mouse, cursor immobile, while only the eyes can interact. It's this state that allows me to dive into the screen, following the iron meteorite of glimpse by Xu Haomin, and fall into a sort of abyss. It's also in this way that I experience the symbiotic AI simulation by Iris Xiaoyu Xu and fall into the different points of views of a voyage into a landscape animated by artificial creatures. Something similar happens with Landscape Enter Life by Rebecca Allen, a historical computer system rendered as a recorded journey. Here, artificial life has been frozen in time to allow me to contemplate the way that technology reshapes my reality. Intimacy through the body and the play between proximity and distance via our behaviors not only relates to the idea of mediation. The show, in fact, beautifully discusses materiality. We see this not just in the way the interface discloses its own materiality with the tracking of our data and movement and the consequent disclosure of what is under the surface of the web interface. Beyond the artwork's form and materiality, the simulations and gamification, there is a material narrative that discusses the idea of intimacy. Who hosts the host? Who serves the servers? This is the mantra of sorts that I follow in Reconnected by Alice Yuan Zhang. It resonates in my mind while I wander through the exhibition. I still think of the use and misuse of materials of our society, of our unquenchable hunger for resources, when I start interacting with Funeral Play by Ruin Shi. Through click and boxes, blips and loading bars, I'm taken to a collective space of mourning that allows me to glimpse at our present. A present where, while some of the web rots, leaving behind memories, decentralized infrastructures allow our data memories to fluctuate and being distributed forever and along unnoticed and unpredictable routes. So I surrendered to the exhibition, to the fact that our present technological landscape might evolve on its own accord, and sometimes we are mere spectators of our own traces. Thinking of Jussi Parikka, mentioned in the curatorial text, I can't help to think about the clash between the contemporary technological time and the deep time of the earth. The exhibition in itself, with the willingness of the curators to embrace its technological decay, is a metaphor about an attitude to life. It's an attitude that ponders about this clash and makes us understand differently the values inherent, but also the roles of death, waste, rot, traces, and our agency.